Wow, there have been so many announcements when it comes to the MCU. I think I need to update you all of them and give you my thoughts on some of these announcements. I have four major points I want to talk about today. Let's just get straight into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Avengers Doomsday. I have talked about this movie way too much on this channel now. I wouldn't be surprised if you're getting sick and tired of hearing that title now. So we have had two trailers in the space of a couple of weeks, and I reacted to the first trailer on the Instagram, and then I gave you my thoughts on the YouTube channel because there was some weird copyright thing when I was showing the trailer. And I liked the trailer when I first saw it, but after seeing it a few more times, I've got to say it's made me really nervous for this movie. This trailer made the movie look like something I feared it would be, and that is a child playing with his action figures. And don't get me wrong, seeing Gambit and Shang-Chi fighting each other will look amazing on the big screen, and it will get the dopamine flowing. But I would have liked this trailer to show me something about the story, because all this trailer is just showing characters fighting with each other, standing in a room together, and being told why Doom is a threat. But we never really get a clear reason why Doom is to be feared, which is something I actually don't mind. I do like that this trailer is not giving too much away about the character. I like that we can go into this movie with an element of mystery around it. And I do think the second trailer for this film expands on the reasons when we see little hints of his motivation. I love the idea of, oh, my family's been taken away, so I'm going to take away your family. That is Doctor Doom. Even though he is a very powerful wizard and he has gone through so much trauma, at the end of the day, he is incredibly jealous and he has a massive ego. And I will say this second trailer was a lot better than the first trailer because it actually teases a semblance of a story. And there are some, again, really cool moments in this trailer. We saw it in the first trailer where he stopped Stormbreaker with two fingers. I mean, come on, how is that not cool? However, the one thing that doesn't look good in both of these trailers are the visuals. There are some moments here which look really bad. I mean, look at this shot from the second trailer. It looks like it's from a video game. And it's even that shot at the end, that money shot at the end of the second trailer where he lifts up the Sentinels. It should be badass. But then you just see this rubbery Doctor Doom and an obvious green screen behind him. And I know that we have a few months before the movie comes out. They can easily patch these things up. But CGI artists are so overworked nowadays, and they have more projects coming up. So I won't be surprised if these shots just look like they do now in the actual movie. There are so many things going against this movie. So when I see trailers that don't really tell you about the story really, and are just showing off characters fighting each other like it's some sort of child playing with his toys, I'm going to get concerned because I really need this movie to be good. I've said many times, if this movie and Secret Wars are not good, you can forget about the reboot after a few years. So Avengers Doomsday, I'm still very excited to see, but I'm also very nervous after those two trailers. Call me anxiety, as I like to say. But we do have some other movies after Doomsday. We of course have Avengers Secret Wars coming straight after, and then we have three more movies to kick off the reboot universe. The first film will be the X-Men movie. That is the wrong way round, Gibson. There we go. The new X-Men movie. And I think that is a perfect start to the new universe. I think it is X-Men's time to shine. They really need a movie in the MCU. And we have some casting announcements. Some very interesting casting announcements. The first cast announcement was very obvious. Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, introduced in Brand New Day. I thought she was really good in that movie, so I'm very excited to see her in this new movie. We also got Kit Connors as Cyclops. I don't really know a lot about this actor, but my friend does. She says he's really, really good. She's seen him in a few shows, so I'm going to take her word for it. I'm sure he'll do a great job. Very interested to see his take on the character. We also have Maya Boyd as Storm, an actress that I know nothing about. Apparently, this is her first ever film. She's done some stuff in theatre. We shall see if she's really good as a character. We also have Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. I think that is excellent casting. We've already had Emma Frost in X-Men First Class, played by January Jones. As much as I like First Class, the less said about January Jones as the character, the better, I think.
There's a war coming, John.
Yes, but a war with who?
Excellent question. Though I wouldn't call it a war exactly.
Exceptional.
We got Christopher Abbott as Charles Xavier. I think that is a very interesting choice. I like Christopher Abbott. I think he's a very, very good actor. But he's not my first choice for Charles Xavier. In fact, I didn't even consider him for the role. So I'm very interested to see what he will do with the character. And we have Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. Amazing. I thought he was going to play Magneto, but I'm happy that he's not now. Mr. Sinister, I think he will be perfect for that character. He can play the egotistical, jealous maniac so well in other movies. I think he will kill it in this role. But of course, the big announcement is Indy Navarrete as Rogue. Now, she was not my first choice for this character, and I like Indy Navarrete. However, this does feel like stunt casting. This isn't me saying she'll be bad as the character. I'm sure she'll do a really, really solid job. But again, I just think there are better actors out there for the character. It just feels like Marvel are going, look, you like Indy Navarrete. We got her in the MCU now, so you'll like this movie now. But one thing that is very interesting about all of these casting choices is that everyone is very young. The majority of these actors are in their 20s. Samara Weaving is in her mid-30s, which I think is very, very interesting. It seems they're going for a very younger version of the X-Men, which I think in the hindsight of the MCU, I think is a very, very good choice. If you want to make these basically the new Avengers, the main team of the new MCU, you need to make sure that you can have them for a good few years. So I do think getting a younger cast is a very good decision. But we also got 2 other movies announced in the MCU. We are getting a brand new Ghost Rider movie, the first Ghost Rider movie in over a decade, nearly 2 decades since we got Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, that absolute horseshit of a movie. And it was announced that Ryan Gosling will be playing Johnny Blaze, and it will be directed by Sean Levy. First of all, Ryan Gosling as Johnny Blaze, I think that is perfect casting. He's already proven that he can play a stuntman in The Fall Guy. He's already proven that he can play a dramatic character in stuff like Drive. Why can't he play this character? I've seen so many people online saying he's not right for the role, it should have gone to someone else. I don't get it. I think this guy will kill it as the character. However, the director of this movie is really concerning me. I do not like Sean Levy. He directed the Night at the Museum trilogy. I like the Night at the Museum films. He directed Deadpool and Wolverine. I liked that movie when I first saw it, but it does not hold up on rewatch. It is a very mediocre movie now. He just creates these very safe movies that have this weird tone where it's trying to be lighthearted, but it's trying to be dark at the same time. Ghost Rider can be very goofy in the comics, but they don't overdo it. They're just little moments of levity. Mainly those stories are very dark, and you need to keep that darkness. I do think in some cases the original Ghost Rider movie with Nick Cage does that very, very well. But I just don't see Sean Levy doing that with this movie. The only thing I can see is Ryan Gosling delivering a very mature performance with a little bit of comedy in there because he's very good at that. But with the director who's very safe with his approach to films, I just don't really see it meshing well. And then the last movie that was announced was Black Panther 3. Now, we kind of already knew that this movie was going to happen. Ryan Coogler is returning as the director. Very, very happy to hear that. The main news is that David Johnson will be playing young T'Challa in this movie. When he was announced that he was playing this character, I was over the moon. I think he is one of the best up-and-coming actors at the moment. He was in Rye Lane, a fantastic comedy that released a few years ago. Alien Romulus wasn't good, but he was still one of the best parts about it. And I recently watched the film Wasteman that released this year. He's incredible in that movie as well. He just has this very likeable persona about him in his performances. And I think he will deliver that as T'Challa in that movie as well. I think he is a great choice. I am so happy that he's getting these big roles. And I cannot wait to see what he does with this character. So we're getting a lot of new movies in the future. But one thing that we're not getting a lot of is TV shows. The only TV shows that are set in the mainline MCU, I'm not counting X-Men 97 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, mainline MCU, is Vision Quest coming out later this year, and next year with Daredevil Born Again Season 3. And it seems like Marvel is cutting down on the TV shows, maybe cutting them down altogether. Now, I and many others have criticised the MCU shows for being completely unnecessary. In fact, there is only one MCU show that you need to watch to understand Doomsday, and that's Loki. And that just shows how far gone Marvel went in the past few years, where they just decided to do quantity over quality. There is no roadmap to get to the next thing. They just wanted to rush a load of content just to get it on Disney+. And I'm very happy to see that they're slowing down on it now. In fact, in the past few years, they slowed down on the TV shows, and I was very happy to see that. As much as I like a lot of the shows like Moon Knight, Loki, obviously, and I really enjoyed Wonder Man, which, by the way, as much as I'm happy that some of these shows are getting cancelled, I would have actually really liked a season 2 of Wonder Man. They even admitted that they focus way too much on quantity over quality. That's very rare for a company like Marvel to just admit that. This decision to cut down on the shows will benefit Marvel massively, because so many people have complained that you need to watch several shows to understand a movie. One of the biggest movies that was harmed by that was The Marvels a few years ago, where you had to watch 2 TV shows and a movie to understand this movie, and it really affected the reviews and the box office. Obviously, that problem doesn't affect me because I watch everything related to Marvel, but for someone who doesn't have Disney Plus because they can't afford it, or they just don't want Disney Plus and want to watch the shows and just want to watch the movies, it becomes a massive problem, and it sours their taste in the MCU. So Marvel is making some very positive decisions, and even though I'm very intrigued to see these 2 shows, Vision Quest looks very, very strange. I'm very intrigued to see what they do with that. Of course, I'm excited for Daredevil. Season 2 was really great, a massive improvement over Season 1. It's going to be interesting to see what they do after. Maybe we'll get Daredevil Season 4, maybe they'll just continue with Daredevil and Defenders. If that's the case, I don't mind that. I don't think people will mind that. But just don't make them lead into the movies. And yeah, people, those were the updates for the MCU and my opinions. I hope you all enjoyed. Do let me know your thoughts on some of these updates in the comments. Are you excited for a certain movie? Are you excited for a certain casting choice? Do let me know. But I hope you all enjoyed this video, guys. Have a good day, and see you later.